All right, we are live, everybody. Welcome to Eternal Kings Motorcycle Society's 61025 Kings Corner, where we give you the scoop on all things Eternal Kings, everything that's happening, and stuff like that, to kind of answer questions. So just basically a live off the top information session about Eternal Kings and kind of what's the haps. Today we are joining us live. We of course got Kill Switch right there behind us. And then over here, I got Mr. U-Turn, our normal guests. But we actually have our lovely Gypsy from Eternal Queens representing. You want to tell everybody hi?
Hi.
Can't get more live or uncut than that, guys. So I wanted to jump in first and give some special announcements, as I normally do. If you've watched any of our lives, either on TikTok or if you've watched any of our lives here on YouTube or on Facebook, always got to give credit where credit's due. So I want to shout out to Brad Johnson Injury Law. If you are hurt at all, any type of injury, contact 1-800-3-INJURY. Once again, 1-800-3-INJURY. The team over at Brad Johnson is they're fantastic. They've helped me. They've helped my brother U-Turn behind me, and I believe Kill Switch and a few other individuals as well. So yeah, if you are hurt at all, whether it's an accident, motorcycle accident, trip fall accident, call 1-800-3-INJURY. See if they can potentially help you out. Don't go do anything unrepresented, right? You want to make sure you get the legal counsel and see if you can get some assistance. Next person I want to shout out, of course, we have a partnership that has lasted quite some time with a great guy. His name is Sluggo. That's what we call him. He is with an organization called Mesa Computer Repair. If you need your computer repaired, I will 100% tell you, go that direction. There's a lot of people out there that'll take advantage of you. They see that you're not super knowledgeable about computers and they kind of hone in on that and try to sell you stuff you don't need. Sluggo's not that guy. Sluggo's a guy that literally will give the shirt off his back. He wants to help you out. So he will do good work by you and make sure your computer's functional. And, if you're looking to buy a computer, he can sell you a computer, like a used one or refurbished one. So Mesa Computer Repair. The links for both of these are on our website. Sorry, they're under our sponsors link. So you just go to sponsors, eternalkingsms.com, click at the top right side, hit sponsors, and you can scroll through. There's two sponsors on there currently. We actually are in the process of picking up another sponsor here soon. And then any other people that want to sponsor us in exchange for like monetary donations to help us do what we do, you can definitely reach out to our organization, national contact at eternalkingsms.com or 602-753-8059. And we will get the information to you and kind of figure out what we need to do to make a partnership work to where you can be listed on there as a sponsor. With that, a couple other announcements, and then we'll dive into our special guest, which is Eternal Queens, and her name is Gypsy. We call her the national treasure, and we'll get into maybe why that is, right? So big things that have come about in our organization. One, we have a goal right now to really kickstart our funding. So you probably see some flyers floating around on Eternal Kings Facebook's page and things like that. We started off with 1,000 out of a goal of 4,500 to really kickstart and ramp up some of our programs this year because we were way behind schedule. We are now sitting at, I believe, 3,530 with some more donations pending. So we do want you to get active, get off the sidelines. If you tune into this and you see it, hit that donate now link at eternalkingsms.com and you can get off the sidelines and help out. Or if you want to nominate a family, you can do that right through the website. Any of those methods, like I told you, the national contact website, the phone number. Exciting news. We just picked up a family. Actually, a lady had contacted us. One of our, hang around, someone that was a member of Eternal Queens that may be coming back to Eternal Queens here soon. We don't know, but her name, we call her Crazy Eyes. She's an awesome young lady. She's actually U-Turn's wife. And she actually works over at Chewy. So she's been talking a lot to people about our programs. And she came across a lady who, during COVID, I guess, her family member, I don't know the whole story. It's just brand new to me, kind of breaking news. But her family had, I guess somebody had passed away, leaving behind a 10-year-old, now 11-year-old, or soon to be 11-year-old little girl. The girl is autistic. And she's struggling herself. So she already was in a tight situation, trying to figure things out, going through a lot of, stuff that happens in life. And with that, she still did the selfless act of, adopting this little girl and giving her a home. And she was really worried about being able to provide her birthday gifts for her birthday that's coming up on June 23rd, if I remember correctly. Yep. And he said, yep, in the background. And we are going to be stepping in. We're going to be providing, everything. We're going to hook it up with, birthday cake, presents, who knows what, a bunch of different stuff. It's nothing that we do, we take lightly. So the Eternal Queens, and I'll have them talk to you about that and what it looks like, but we're really excited. That's something we're looking to do there. And then also we have our car show coming up October 25th, 25, 14015 West Bell Road, Surprise, Arizona. It is the Red Robin parking lot. I believe that address is correct. I always tell people, don't quote me. My memory kind of is terrible. But there is flyers floating around. So like, share, comment on those flyers when you see them. It is for 4 categories. And we're doing a trunk or treat. So first category is best hot rod. Second is best lowrider. Third is best cruiser style motorcycle. Fourth is the best sport bike style motorcycle. So here's the thing with that. You can choose what category you enter. That's right. You choose the category. So if you feel you're better fit in a sport bike category, I know that sounds crazy, or if you feel like you're better fit in the lowrider category, hot rod, that's your choice, right? You can choose what category, but you only get to enter the vehicle into one category, whatever it is. And it's $25 to enter. We're going to have it split 50-50. So 50% goes to the fundraising programs of Eternal Kings and everything that we do and how do we operate and everything. The other 50% goes to the 4 winners, and it's split evenly across the 4 winners. We are in the process of setting up some judges. So they're going to be independent of us. They're actually I'm working on getting some experts, like if you're a hot rod expert, or you're a lowrider expert, or a street bike expert, or a cruiser expert, we're going to have experts that are doing the judging for us. That way it's as fair as it possibly can be and everybody can have a great time. The reminder I'm giving everybody is this is a family-focused fundraising event. Please keep the peace in all things we do. No matter how angry you may get, walk away if that's the case. It's all about fundraising and charity and fun. We are not about bringing any drama. That's not what Eternal King stands for at all. So no matter what it is, please leave the BS at home. That's the one announcement I'll give for that. If you tune in and check this out, you'll see that for sure, but please do that. Also, we have Saint, our brother from Tucson, coming down. I believe he is actually bringing a couple people, and possibly Sluggo might have a tattoo artist also. I'm not sure yet, but they're going to be doing $25 flash art tattoos for adults. And, if you've seen those before, they're like the Friday the 13th designs, maybe a little over a quarter to 50-cent piece size. Not super detail oriented, kind of fast flash, base tattoo. And he'll have a book you can choose from, $25. 15 of it goes directly to Eternal Kings. The other 10 stays with the artists and the group of artists to pay for supplies and stuff, which is very, very reasonable. And one thing I'm super excited about, because we're about family, is the kids have a chance to get the same tattoo as mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or whoever brings them out there, uncle, aunt, because they're going to be bringing skin safe pins or markers, I believe they are, or something along those lines, and basically setting up the tattoo for the kid as well to match mom and dad is the plan. And that'll be done by donation. And then of course we're looking for some face painters. So that's going to be out there. And then we also are going to have Pastor Jeremy. We're not a denominational group. We're not like a Christian organization. We just happen to have some Christian men, but we got people that are, Catholic, like my brother U-Turn behind me. We've got people that are Norse. We've got, so we don't really care what group or religion you are. We love everybody. It's just how we are. But we did contact Pastor Jeremy from Grace Walk Church. He's going to be out there with flyers for Celebrate Recovery, which I think is amazing. And you might find out why, but a couple reason is, the Celebrate Recovery helps people with addiction. Well, a lot of people have faced addiction at some point in our life. And I just want to say, you can heal. Okay. So we care about that. I don't care about the, you don't have to be Christian to heal or anything like that. You can go over there, learn about the Celebrate Recovery program. You might find some people that you can associate with that'll help you get clean. And if that's the case, or what have you, or if you just want your bikes blessed or whatever, stop by and see Pastor Jeremy while at the event. All right. With that said, the last couple announcements I got is what? MDR, Mystery Destination Ride, Family Focus 612. Look for flyers on that. And then we have another one at the end of the month that's it's more just adults. Kind of going back to the normal flow, checking out bars and restaurants, adults only. But this 612 one, you don't want to miss it. It is set up to be family focused. So pretty awesome there. With that, I'm going to turn the camera over here to Gypsy so that way you can see her a little more. So sorry for keeping off camera. I'm going to slide the mic that way so you can hear her. I'll talk loudly. But we wanted to have a conversation and kind of talk a little bit about the Eternal Queens. Yeah. Oh, let's see if we can adjust the mic for her here. How's that look for you?
It's right in front of my face.
Oh, is that a little better? We can turn it down.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe people want to see who Gypsy is.
That's correct. So, that's why the mic is adjustable, right?
So anyways, my name is Gypsy. As my darling Spaz has mentioned several times, they do call me the National Treasure because I love to take pictures and sometimes I'm kind of good at it. And anyways, I came across these people. I don't know. I think I met Spaz back in 21 or 2,
somewhere around there, I believe. Yeah,
at a birthday party for a common person, I guess. I don't know what to call him. And I don't know. It was kind of a cool dude. I got along good with his wife. She immediately started calling me Gypsy right out of the gate. And then moving forward, in early 22, my husband passed away, which was very hard. He committed suicide, which tore me down pretty hard. And I just reached out to the Eternal Kings and the Eternal Queens, and they have been like my rock. So that's kind of how I met them. They talked about charity. I like charity. I was a charity case, so to speak, at one point, raising my children in active addiction for the majority of my life. The things that we do here with the Eternal Kings is near and dear to me because I was that family. I either had no money or it all went to drugs, and my children always came second at some point, but I still wanted to try and do right by them. And I relied on family and organizations like the Eternal Kings to help provide Christmas, birthdays, things like that. So this is my opportunity to give back. That's the biggest reason why I'm here. It's important that I do my part and do for those that I can so vividly relate to.
Yeah. So if you with that, like if you hear me ever talking, guys, about getting off the sidelines, I mean, that's basically what she's speaking to is, we as people, a lot of times we live on the sidelines, we'll see stuff and see people that are struggling, and, it can be pretty easy for us to, got some water there. It can be pretty easy for us to, pass them by and not do anything, or we pass judgment on somebody because of how they look or maybe what they got going on, or we use preconceived notions all the time, or oftentimes. But the one thing that I can tell you about Gypsy, at least in knowing her, is even though she was going through what she was going through, right, the drug addiction and some of the other things that were going on, and she could speak to this more than I can, the help that was bestowed upon her to be able to give her kids what she couldn't because either her mind wasn't right or whatever she was faced with in life, that has now turned into a positive mark that forever is going to be left with Gypsy. And that leads me to my next question. So, Gypsy, in the beginning stages, and I'm going to pass the mic back over there to you. So, in the beginning stage with the Eternal Queens, like, what really stood out to you at first? Like, what was like the first thought when you were like, hey, you know what? I'm going to actually become a maiden and I'm going to start down this journey.
For me, I think it was I don't want to say fellowship because it's more than that. It's family. I lost my family. My children are grown. My husband was gone. And these people stepped in and didn't treat me as if I was a new person coming to hang out. They treated me like family. They always treated me like I was special. And not a day went by that I needed them, that they weren't there. They were always there. I mean, I could post something on Facebook. Oh, here comes my babysitter, AKA Kill Switch.
Babysitter to the rescue.
I mean, I don't know how many times I had to apologize to wives for keeping their husbands out so late, just because, I was a wreck and, they were able to be there for me to cry on their shoulders. And so for me, like, I started this because it was an opportunity for me to give back and do for so many people who I can relate to, but I ended up with a family. I got nieces and nephews, brothers, sisters. I mean, an Uncle Larry.
Hey. Uncle Larry, if you tune into this, shout out to Uncle Larry. Dude's amazing.
So, I mean, and this year I think is going to be a big year for the Eternal Kings. We've already started the year off just banging. I mean, we got so much going on from the car and bike show in October to early December, where the Queens are going to do the scavenger hunt ride from Phoenix to Tucson. This year, every year I try to do something to celebrate my husband. This year, we did the first annual Ride for Red to Laughlin so that I could play poker in his honor. And next year, I just want it to be bigger and better. I mean, he's gone, but I don't want him to be forgotten. He was a cool dude.
Yeah, so that actually leads me to something. So she made a comment about, saying that, this year is going to be big for Eternal Kings. I just want to mention this year's not going to be just big for Eternal Kings. This year's actually a stepping stone for Eternal Queens. So, like she alluded to, there's been a lot of firsts this year for Eternal Queens, and they're a small organization that's looking to grow. We're going to get into that. But this year they did their first official annual. So they did a big celebration for them and their growth out to Lake Havasu City. So it didn't go super far. A few of them ride and a few of them don't because they are a social club. But they actually put that out and stuff like that, which was an awesome thing for them. And she could share some details there. But they also got their first stuff that they're starting to host to start raising money, start getting involved and gaining some membership numbers and things like that of like-minded people. So this year is going to be huge for Eternal Queens, and you really don't want to miss that, I think, because these women that are part of this have the capability of building something so magnificent when it comes to family. So question there, Gypsy. So a couple questions came in the chat. One question is, what part do the Eternal Queens play in the Eternal Kings throughout the year?
So our biggest part that we play is more of a counterpart. So we support them. Like Spaz was talking earlier, we're doing the little girl who has her autism, and she's going to have her birthday next weekend. And we're going to go and do the shopping and make sure that this little girl has great things to open on her birthday. We're going to get her a cake. We're going to deliver. We do this every year at Christmas time. We've done Easter. We do a lot of the shopping. I like to help plan other events, like when Saint did his crossover. That was huge. I wanted to make it special for him because he's a great dude. And so I kind of dove in and helped Kill Switch plan. That's what we do. We just step in, we help pick up the slack, we do the stuff that they can't do. They give us a budget, they give us what we need, and we just go and do it. We reach out to people, get details on items for the children, just a lot of little things. And then we also like to try and do special things for the kings when we can.
Right on. And going back to that earlier comment, you mentioned that, you know, and I mentioned calling you the national treasure because you take pictures and stuff. So I don't know if anybody's mentioned this before. I know I haven't mentioned it yet, but we're working on putting together also some girls, like some maybe to go out in like pinup girl style clothing and attire for the 1025 car and bike show, so that they can actually take some pictures out there with the cars, the bikes, you know, stuff like that. And then we can post them on our socials and stuff. You know, Gypsy's going to be out there taking pictures, right? I mean, you're going to be doing what you do best, taking some pictures. So that's another example of filling a void, you know, filling something. She's feeding into the strong suits that she has to get out there and be active. Now, which leads me to my next question. So the first family that we delivered presents to, or helped out once you actually crossed over from maidenship and earned your ability to be a queen. Talk to me a little bit about that. What's some memories that came out of that?
The children. This woman, I don't remember her circumstances, but there were a lot of children. And these children, when they saw the kings ride up on their motorcycles, their little faces just lit up. Like I want to ride a motorcycle when I grow up. So, I mean, I know that bikers have this bad stigma. That's got to go away because we do great things for kids, and we're not the only people who do. There's other people out there who ride motorcycles and who are a part of clubs that do great things for children. And I once heard somebody tell me that bikers are the most generous when it comes to providing for children and protecting children. Your child gets lost, tell him to go find the biggest, meanest biker. He'll make sure that kid's safe.
That is absolutely correct on that standpoint. I will stand by that one.
Yep, that's just.
But it's the kids. So their faces, to answer your question, it was their faces. Their faces. They invited us into their home. We took pictures with them. I think, didn't we even go back and deliver another bike too?
We did. So about a year later, so the circumstance, a little backstory for the family that she's talking, because I don't ever, and I hope I never forget any of these families with old age. I'm sure I'm getting forgetful, but you know, even though I'm not super old, I'm not super old, guys, but I got a lot of stuff going on. Okay. So I'll tell you, my life's busy and I forget all kinds of stuff, but, and I literally tell people like, hey, just remind me, but, this lady, she had, I forgot, we met her through a partner of, you know, one of another charity organization. She was volunteering for Backpacks for Kids AZ, which is an awesome program. The lady that runs that, she actually helps to do exactly that. She delivers backpacks for kids here in Arizona, but she does a lot more now. That charity has morphed. She does, you know, some toys stuff, I think, as far as drives and stuff. She does a lot of food donations and has like a food pantry, I think, now. So Backpacks for Kids AZ, they're an awesome organization. But this lady was volunteering over there to help out, and she got nominated by that lady to come our direction. And basically she had lost her husband, which is terrible. No woman should, you know, ever have to, I mean, nobody should have to really bury anybody. I wish it never happened. But, you know, and I know personally, because I lost my mom at a very young age, and it's shaped who I am as a person. I mean, I was 13 years old. But yeah, this lady, she had, I think it was 7 kids, if I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7 kids. 7 kids. Yeah. Fluke accident, lost her husband. And anyways, we stepped in, we did the Christmas thing, and, you know, did the presents and all that stuff. The ladies of Eternal Queens knocked it out of the park, you know, $175 to $200, you know, per kid between gift wrap and presents. You know, really, really hooked it up. That's to answer the question in the comments about the budget for that, but knocked it out of the park. Well, from that year to the following year, we checked back and we found out that one of the kids had a birthday. Okay. And we had gotten donated a bicycle. So we were like, hey, this kid wants a bicycle for his birthday. How perfect is that? So we actually got to go back out, which is awesome. It's the only time we've ever actually got to go back out, mingle with a family. But we actually got to deliver the kid, the little boy, a bicycle. And he was so excited to see us again and stuff like that, take pictures with us once again. So you can look at those pictures on our gallery, also on our Facebook page. But I mean, it speaks volumes, folks. I mean, it's all about getting off the sidelines. And I'll say that repeatedly because it's one simple act of kindness creates an endless ripple. That is a model, something that there's two models that I kind of molded my life after when I started creating this organization with the 3 other founders that I started creating Eternal Kings with. One is one simple act of kindness creates an endless ripple. That'll stick with me forever. We morphed that into Leave Your Mark, encouraging others to leave a positive mark on the community to make a difference, because it's not about us. We can make a difference, but we can only make so much difference, right? Okay. The second one is, hopefully one day my kids will catch me in the act of excellence. And I heard that from a YouTube video on Goldcast. There was a dude that called himself a blackneck redneck. And he was the title of the YouTube was the wisdom of a third, I believe the wisdom of a third grade dropout. And he was talking about how the wisest man he ever met was a third grade dropout. And he mentioned in there values, things like how ego destroys people, how pride destroys people, how, and talking about how his kids should always, you want to aspire to make it to where your kids catch you in the act of excellence. So when I was younger, just starting out in Arizona, I came out here in 2006 after my house got completely destroyed by gunfire in California, La Cadena, Colton, California. I was not doing the right things with life. I tell people all the time now I'm a hope dealer. I was definitely something different back then. But I moved out here. When I moved out here in 2006, I got involved like in 2014 and stuff like that with doing this charity stuff. And I decided to morph an old organization into an organization that was a hope dealer that started to give back into the community. So my kids were, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years old, handing lemonade to homeless people. Okay. And now I got these kids that are very respectful. They're not perfect. They're kids. I don't expect them to be perfect, but they always, from what I can see, aspire to be something more, to be able to give back in the community. And to speak to that, I got a brother named Script, one of the founders of this organization. Okay. His son is now starting, he literally contacted our organization. His son is starting an organization called the Hallway Forward. It's a charitable organization to get involved in the community, to get off the sidelines. And when he messaged me and he said, hey, I see my dad doing this, this, and this with you guys, and I want to do it too. So I created this organization called the Hallway Forward. So that's another great organization. They're going to be up and coming. They're going to do great things in charity, because there can be way more than one charity, because there are so many people that have a need. Okay. So with that, let me ask another question here. So when it comes to the Eternal Queens, right? What does the process look like? Like who are you looking for? Because you're VP of Eternal Queens. You're kind of, even though you've been around for a little while, you guys are now at this turning point where you've kind of, pruned, I would say, right? Kind of like the Eternal Kings, maybe pruned some people that weren't the best fit, right? And so who are you looking for? Like, who is the ideal person to become part of the Eternal Queens family?
I don't really think there is an ideal person per se. They have to have the want. They have to want to do good. They have to want to get up and get out. They have to want to help others. They want to be involved. We have other things too, like, around the clock appearance. If you're out there representing the queens, I don't want you out there in your scrubs. I'm sorry, but that's just me personally. Don't crawl out of bed and go out there and represent the queens, the Eternal Queens, because we mean more than that, because we not only take pride in ourselves, but we're taking pride in our community and pride in our organization. So, if you look good, you feel good. And I want that to be reflected out there to other people. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you have. You just still put your best foot forward, a first impression is everything. So I just want her to have values. I want her to be about family and community, and our children, because we're raising these children to take our place in the future. And I want them to be better than we are today.
Absolutely. Okay. And with that said, let me ask you another question here, because I want to get as much, because we don't get to have the presence of Gypsy, on these King's Corners often, which I'm excited, right? Like we get to really learn about the Eternal Queens and put them on a pedestal here. So I really like that, right? So how can they contact you? How can, like, if a lady's wants to just maybe she wants to get involved and she wants to do charity, right? What's the steps for them reaching out to you, getting in contact with you or one of your fellow queens?
Well, they can contact us at our Facebook page, Eternal Queens. We are on Facebook. They can also go to the Eternal Kings website and, reach out that direction. You can come out to any of our mystery destination rides that we have twice a month, and you can meet us and see what we're about, and we can get to know each other. You can volunteer with us every month. There's a lot of things that you can do to get started. I think that the first thing would be to hop on Facebook and check out our Facebook pages. I have a personal Facebook page that I do a lot of promoting for the Eternal Kings and Eternal Queens on. And I also have other social media platforms with Instagram and
do you mind sharing your TikTok?
My TikTok is Late Dusk 50.
Late Dusk 50. It's LATEDUSK 50. Feel free to stalk Gypsy.
Yep. You can also Google Gypsy. It would come up as Early Terrio. You can contact me in any fashion. Drop a comment in this YouTube and I'll hit you up.
Okay.
It can just really be that simple.
Okay. And then a couple other things here, and then we'll wrap up. I know we're just past the 32-minute mark. So you've heard me talk before about the a couple things we have going on, like one, the scavenger hunt with the queens that's going to be in, I believe, late November, early December, where they're actually doing a scavenger hunt starting in Phoenix. We're going to hammer down a location and they're going to do that and get a flyer together. That's all on them. But essentially this scavenger hunt's going to go from Phoenix to Tucson and then back to Phoenix. Okay. But one thing that's kind of way out there, and I alluded to it, I'm going to see if we can get some little more details on, because I'm excited about it, is yeah, she knows it's coming.
I know.
Bikinis and baked goods.
Yeah, everybody wants to see me in a bikini. No, I will be baking.
In a bikini.
I will be baking baked goods. I got an ace in the pocket. My daughter is a pastry chef for Cooper's Hawk, Scottsdale. They turn out wonderful things, and we're going to take advantage of some of her knowledge and make some fantastic baked goods. I also encourage other females to get involved, make some baked goods, come out and support us.
Wear a bikini.
Yeah, wear a bikini. I mean, car washes are out of date these days. We're doing baked goods. Nobody's going to be wearing a bikini when we're done. Bring out your husbands and your brothers and your uncles and your dads, and bring out your motorcycles. I think it's spring on out and bring your Springer.
Yeah, spring on down, bikinis and baked goods. And we're exactly going to be doing that. That's something that's the piece that I thought was pretty exciting. Of course, the bikinis and baked goods part was all exciting. But definitely the, Springer style motorcycles, that's an American thing, something that's very classic, goes back very long way. And we want to see the Springers. I know the Eternal Queens want to see all the different custom Springers. And we're going to be getting some judges together, or I should say they're going to be getting some judges together and making that happen. I know we talked about it where maybe the Kings would judge the Springer competition for the Springer motorcycles, but we may actually get some real good experts around the Springer motorcycle to determine the winners, but it's all to be determined. But look for posts on the Eternal Queens page because they're going to be putting up some flyers, some more information in regards to this as we get closer to dates. But the soonest one that we got going is that October 25th car show. Eternal Queens are going to be out there having some big involvement. Drop in and say hi to them. Let them know that you saw Gypsy on this live. And then like I always say, and I'm going to turn this around just a little bit. Like I always say, when you're going through and dropping comments or you're sending messages, emails, text messages, whatever it is, tell us like what you want to hear. This is King's Corner. So King's Corner, like I said at the beginning, it's all about updates. It's about question and answer. We're a motorcycle society. We know it's different. We wear our patches both on the king side and queen side. All of us wear patches on the front of our cuts. We do not wear patches on the back unless it's a KFE or QFE. So if you ever see a patch on the back, that's a King for Eternity patch or a Queen for Eternity patch. That means that those individuals passed away. They're no longer with us, but they're watching our backs, even from above or from the grave, wherever you feel when someone passes is. We feel like they're looking out for us. And that's why we do it that way. But we're a motorcycle society, not a motorcycle club also. So we want to differentiate the two for a number of reasons, because we have a lot of respect for the community. We don't want to pretend to be something we aren't. We've been a motorcycle club in the past. So those of you that know us, I'm not going to say that we never went down the line of being a motorcycle club. We were originally founded as a motorcycle society. We ended up walking the line of motorcycle club because we found some really awesome bros and some people that I still to this day have a lot of reverence and respect for. And we realized that we wanted to follow our path. And we went back to the motorcycle society structure, and that's where we've been for the last 2 years, and that's where we will remain, because that's our niche. It's what we do. It's what we trademark. It's what we love. And the Eternal Queens are a social club. You don't have to ride motorcycles, correct?
You do not have to ride a motorcycle, but I do encourage you women to ride. It's a newfound freedom.
Yeah, she rides a trike as well. It's I believe a 2017 freewheeler. But she's looking at that 25. It's a 114. It's purple. It's beautiful. She's looking. Shout out to Roadrunner Harley Davidson. I'm just gonna put that here. If Roadrunner tunes into this, we've done a lot of stuff with them in the past. They've really taken care of us. So if you are looking to buy a bike, I will tell you, talk to Nick, talk to Z, tell them Spaz sent you from Eternal Kings Motorcycle Society and the guys and gals over here between the kings and the queens, that we sent you down there. I promise you will not regret it. Those guys will take good care of you down there. So, and not just at the time of sale, they'll take care of you even on the back end. We know that things aren't always perfect, but they will do what it takes to make it right, even on the back end of things. So they're good group of people down at Roadrunner Harley Davidson. So, shout out to Roadrunner Harley. But yeah, she rides, like I said, a trike. My wife rides, she's with the Eternal Queens as well. She rides a 25 Street Glide, and then U-Turn's wife behind actually rides as well, but again, not required. I know there is plans though, and I will tell you this little drop. As the Eternal Queens grows, eventually they will be starting an all-female motorcycle society, and that's probably the first time it's ever been mentioned on record, on camera. But they are 100% with our blessing, with our ability to do the motorcycle society thing, because we're not a diamond club or nothing like that. We don't claim to be, but again, we're a motorcycle society. We're not a club. We don't walk the same line or anything like that. We have nothing but love and respect for clubs, groups, organizations, associations, but motorcycle society is kind of our thing. And they are going to start an all-female. We want to empower women. We want women to get out there and ride motorcycles, enjoy, riding. And so that way, if you're a person that doesn't really care about riding too much and you want a backpack and you just want to do charity, by all means, you can be Eternal Queen and stay an Eternal Queen, and that's fine. Like Killswitch's wife, she's 100% backpack forever. That's fine.
Yep.
But if you want to ride motorcycles, we're trying to work with them to create that space, and they are going to be creating a female motorcycle society eventually. So, hey, if you ride motorcycles and you want to help them accomplish that goal, come out, meet the ladies with Eternal Queens. Show that you have a big servant's towel and you want to get in the community and help out. Work your way through, because nothing is given over here. Whether you're a king or a queen, going through the Eternal Kings process as a squire or the Eternal Queens process as a maiden, I promise you'll earn it. But once you earn it, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment. And then hopefully you can continue to help them build, and maybe you can be on the ground level of starting a movement of motorcycle society females. So with that said, Unless anybody else has anything to add.
I'm good.
Nope.
I just
You
want to
said
once
it all.
I just want to once again thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank the lovely Gypsy for being here and gracing us with her presence.
Thank you for having me.
Almost all pictures on Facebook, not all, but almost.
The
are
good
hers.
ones.
The good ones are hers. right, so- With that, this was King's Corner. I'm Spaz, your host, alongside my co-hosts U-Turn and Kill Switch over on that side. And thank you very much for joining.
Holy cow.